What if I told you that legendary Viking banquets overflowing with sizzling meat were prepared without a single metal pot or pan? You might picture crude, half-burnt food scraped from ashes, but that image couldn't be further from the truth. The real strength of Scandinavian cooks wasn't forged in iron. It was born from a profound partnership with two primal forces, stone and fire. Through this alliance, they shaped tools as effective as any modern kitchenware. Watch until the end, and you'll discover how the Vikings prepared intricate meals and roasted entire animals using techniques that feel almost supernatural today. What you're about to learn may permanently reshape how you see Viking civilization. For people of the Viking Age, a feast was never just about eating. It stood at the heart of their world, a ceremonial display of authority, prosperity, and unity. Picture a massive hall filled with warriors, long tables bending not under gold, but under mountains of food, all created without the conveniences of later ages. This was where a king or jarl demonstrated his worth, his ability to feed his people, and therefore his right to command them. Seated shoulder to shoulder, the warriors didn't just expect nourishment, they expected recognition. Each serving was proof of loyalty rewarded, of victories won, of fertile lands secured. To refuse a feast, or to offer one that lacked abundance, was seen as an insult, an admission of weakness. Entire social hierarchies rested on these meals, rich with steam and aroma. Cooking itself carried significance equal to warfare or exploration. The cooks and servants were not simply laborers, they were keepers of ancestral knowledge. They knew which stones could hold heat safely and which would shatter violently. They understood fire as a living force, how to calm it into embers for smoking, or unleash it into roaring flames for roasting. In this world, cooking was craftsmanship, ritual, and belief intertwined. Feeding hundreds of warriors required the same planning and intuition as constructing a longship. With no clocks or thermometers, they relied on sound, scent, and memory. Food connected realms. It honored gods, ancestors, and the living alike. Major feasts aligned with seasonal festivals like Yule or marked moments such as marriages, funerals, and triumphant returns. Meat offered to the gods was later shared among the people, binding everyone into a single sacred act. This philosophy elevated cooking into a dramatic art rooted in respect for nature. The Vikings did not dominate fire and stone, they cooperated with them. That bond was the true secret behind meals fit for gods and kings. They proved that metal was never essential. Skill was. Their feasts embodied their worldview. Use what you have, and shape greatness from it. Scarcity wasn't a barrier. It was a challenge they mastered. Now tell us, what do you think of this almost spiritual approach to food? Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember to subscribe. Are you ready to learn why not every stone could be trusted? For the Vikings, selecting hearthstones was as critical as choosing timber for a ship's keel. One poor choice could mean disaster, ruined food, or serious injury. Through experience, they learned that damp, porous stones gathered near water could explode in flames like shrapnel. Instead, they searched for dense, ancient rock, granite and basalt hardened by time. These stones were collected far from streams, dried for weeks, sometimes months, before earning their place near the fire. Fire itself was seen as more than heat. It was alive. Vikings recognized countless variations: roaring flames for roasting, steady warmth for stone cooking, gentle smoke for preservation. Fire mastery passed from generation to generation. They read its color and listened to its voice. Orange soothed, blue commanded respect. To control the blue flame was to truly command fire. Building a feast hearth was an event in itself. Pits were dug, borders laid, stones stacked carefully. Fires burned for hours, sometimes days, charging the stones with stored heat. Hardwood like oak or beech fueled these flames, chosen for their long, clean burn. Birch added aroma prized for smoking. Wood mattered as much as seasoning. Once glowing, stones served many purposes. Some stayed buried beneath coals. Others were lifted with wooden tongs and used as cooking surfaces. Fish, bread, meat, all could be cooked on stone. The heat radiated evenly, baking rather than scorching, sealing moisture inside. In effect, the Vikings created an early form of precision cooking, stone replacing metal. Timing was everything. Knowing when a stone was ready meant the difference between perfection and waste. But the most astonishing method lay hidden underground. In the next chapter, we reveal the Viking earth oven, capable of cooking an entire animal with no visible flame. Want to know how the toughest meat became melt-in-your-mouth tender? The Vikings were masters of patience. Their underground oven, the grop, was the height of their culinary genius. A pit was dug, small for daily meals, enormous for celebrations. Some were large enough to hold a bowl. Stones lined the bottom. Fires raged overnight, transforming earth into a massive heat reservoir. Once the flames died, embers were removed. Damp leaves, fern, maple, birch, were layered atop the stones, creating steam and aroma. Whole animals, or large cuts, seasoned with salt and wild herbs like juniper and garlic, were wrapped and lowered inside. Covered with earth, the pit became a sealed chamber where heat worked slowly for hours. No supervision, no metal, just physics and experience. The result was meat so tender it seemed miraculous, worthy of Odin's own table. If you enjoy ancient techniques like this, leave a like. Now imagine a time portal into a Viking kitchen. A flat stone rests in flames, hissing as heat builds. Water vanishes instantly on contact. This is no rock, it's history's first frying pan. Vikings perfected this method, especially for freshly caught fish. Stones were cleaned, heated, and set over embers. Fish were laid directly on the surface, no scaling needed. Skin seared instantly, trapping juices inside. Crisp outside, silken within. No modern pan can replicate it. The same stones baked bread. Simple dough of barley or rye puffed within minutes. Stones cooked mushrooms, meat slices, even eggs. Portable, universal, efficient. What else might they have prepared this way? Next, we uncover how Vikings cooked soup in wooden containers, using nothing but hot stones. Metal pots seem essential until you meet Viking ingenuity. They used wooden troughs filled with water, meat, and roots. Fires burned nearby. Stones were heated until glowing, then dropped into the liquid. The water erupted into steam. Stones cycled in and out, keeping the pot boiling for hours. This method cooked stews, porridge, and even beer wort. It was labor-intensive, but reliable, and portable. When roasting massive cuts, Vikings turned to the spit. Whole animals rotated slowly before towering fires, basted with beer, honey, salt water, and herbs. Distance from flame was critical. Too close meant ruin. Done right, juices sealed inside, smoke infused every layer. Hours turned into a full day. This was spectacle and skill combined. Preservation was survival. Smoke became their shield. Hot smoking for quick meals, cold smoking for winter survival. Trenches channeled cool smoke over salted meat for weeks, drying and protecting it. One mistake could doom a village's food supply. Smokers were guardians of life itself. Bread ovens followed, clay domes hardened by fire. Heat stored in thick walls baked loaves to perfection. After bread, porridge simmered in fading warmth. Nothing wasted. Fermentation completed the system. Ale, beer, mead, made in wooden vats with wild yeast. Fermented fish stored for months. These were early biotechnologies, refined through necessity. Wood, bone, stone, and clay formed their tools. Spoons were personal items, even status symbols. Everything returned to earth when broken. No waste, no excess. The Viking world was shaped not just by steel, but by fire-warmed stone. Their feasts were proof of mastery, not primitiveness. They turned harsh land into abundance. True greatness came from ingenuity, not technology. What other Viking skills should we explore next? Share your ideas and subscribe so you don't miss the next journey into the past.